Welcome, viewers, to Pressure News Network as we take a look at a top news story from the headlines.
Okay, let's dive into this. Travis Hunter, number 2 overall NFL draft pick, just won the Heisman, and then almost immediately, he's married to Leanna Lenee, his girlfriend of a few years.
Yeah.
This feels like, well, more than just the usual celebrity news, doesn't it? It's happening right when the spotlight is brightest.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, you've got a 22-year-old hitting these massive career highs, and at the exact same time, making this very public, very serious commitment to Leanna, who's 23.
Right. They got engaged back in February, I think.
Yeah, February 2024. So the timing of the wedding, right on the heels of the draft and the Heisman,
Yeah.
it definitely makes you want to look a bit closer,
Yeah.
beyond just the headlines.
Exactly. So our goal here, it isn't just like looking at wedding pictures. We want to get into the thinking behind it. What can we maybe understand from their choices, the challenges they're already hitting, and some of the decisions that are kind of unconventional?
Definitely. Let's start with the wedding itself. It was Saturday, May 24th, 2025, down in Athens, Tennessee, at a place called The Barn at Faith Farms.
Right.
Black and white theme, apparently. Very classic look. Leanna had 2 custom dresses, Travis in a white tux. First dance, Alicia Keys. If I ain't gotcha. And they finished with fireworks. Sounds pretty significant.
It really does. And then, okay, the gift, the one that got everyone talking, that Mercedes-Benz. The AMG G63 Bravus 800.
Oh, yeah.
Reports are saying it could be worth, what, up to $700,000? The videos of the ribbon cutting were just everywhere. That's a big statement.
Huge statement. And it's interesting, too, when you put it next to the gifts Leanna gave Travis before the draft. Remember the Rolex?
Oh, yeah, the watch and a bracelet, too, right?
Exactly. Both, really valuable, meaningful gifts. It suggests this isn't just a one-way street of grand gestures. It feels more like mutual support, celebrating each other's big moments.
Yeah, that makes sense. Partnership, both recognizing the milestones.
Right. It highlights that maybe it's a partnership where both are valuing what the other achieves.
That reciprocity idea feels important here. Okay, so the location. The Barn at Faith Farms in Tennessee. You said it's a popular spot, but here's what caught my eye. Athens, Tennessee isn't that far from Chattanooga, right? Like 130-something miles, Travis's hometown.
Mm-hmm. About 138 miles, yeah.
Was that just lucky or intentional?
Well, it seems highly unlikely to be just a coincidence, especially when you factor in Travis's father, Travis Hunter Sr. He's currently under community control supervision.
Which is basically like probation.
Pretty much, yeah. So for him to even attend the wedding, he needed special permission from the court. Apparently, a request to reduce his sentence got denied, but the judge did grant permission for him to be at the wedding.
Wow. Okay, so choosing that venue, going through that legal process, it really underlines how much Travis wanted his dad there. It wasn't just about, oh, this barn looks nice. It was about making sure family, specifically his father, could be part of it, even with all those complications.
It really speaks volumes, doesn't it? Here's this young guy, his career's exploding, but he's still clearly prioritizing family, willing to navigate some tricky stuff to make sure they're present. Makes you think about family influence on these young athletes.
Definitely. Now let's shift gears a bit, because alongside all the wedding buzz, there's been this other constant current. The really intense public scrutiny aimed at Leanna.
Oh, yeah. That's been unavoidable.
It feels like she's been under a microscope almost as much as Travis, maybe more sometimes, and often not in a positive way, especially after those viral moments.
That's true. Several incidents really blew up online and brought a lot of, well, pretty harsh criticism her way. The Heisman ceremony, for instance.
Right, where she didn't immediately stand up when he won. And that clip of Deion Sanders seeming to nudge her went everywhere.
Exactly. That got picked apart endlessly. And then you had those older comments resurface from a 2022 video, I think, where she talked about someone not being her type.
Yeah, and she later clarified Travis was with someone else then, but the initial clip just took off. Lots of negativity.
Precisely. Context often gets lost online. Then there was another resurfaced video of her dancing that some people called inappropriate.
Mm.
And even her own past comments, like admitting Travis would sometimes wait for her while she was out partying, that also got turned into criticism.
It just shows how anything from your past can be dug up and thrown back at you, especially when you're linked to someone famous.
Absolutely. It's a tough reality of the digital age. Things get amplified, often without the full picture.
And it wasn't just random internet noise, right? We had guys like Des Bryant, Oskino weighing in. Oskino even questioned her authenticity publicly.
Yeah, having public figures jump in definitely adds another layer of pressure. It's a lot for anyone to handle, especially someone who isn't the pro athlete themselves.
Makes you really think about the human side of this. What's the cost of just constantly being judged online?
It's significant.
Yeah.
And we saw real-world consequences. Like you mentioned earlier, they both ended up deactivating their social media. And Travis reportedly hired security.
Right. So it's not just online drama. It impacts their actual lives, their safety. This whole cycle of digging up the past. It's like a digital storm with real teeth.
Definitely. It really highlights the massive challenge of just trying to live a life, have a relationship, when you're under that kind of intense, constant public gaze.
But, through all of that negativity, one thing has been super consistent. Travis Hunter's defense of Leanna. He hasn't wavered.
Not at all. He's been incredibly strong in public about his support for her. Remember that Twitch stream?
Yeah, what did he say exactly? It was pretty direct.
Very direct. He said, I know what I got. I know my girl. My girl's been with me for 5 years.
That's a pretty powerful statement, pushing back against all that doubt.
Absolutely. 5 years. That context matters. And he also said something like, y'all hate on me, then you go hate on my girl. We're inseparable.
And she's hurting, I'm hurting. It really paints a picture of them as a unit, a team, facing this stuff together. Totally. A united front. It kind of makes you consider, how much does that internal validation matter compared to all the noise coming from the outside, especially under that pressure?
It seems crucial for them. And backing that up, like we said, taking those steps, getting off social media, getting security shows they're taking it seriously, trying to protect that unit.
And Deion Sanders apparently advised them to just keep moving, right?
Yeah.
Don't get bogged down by the negativity.
Yeah, seems like advice focused on resilience, not letting the outside stuff derail them.
Okay, so let's talk about the decision that probably raised the most eyebrows, financially speaking anyway. Travis choosing not to get a prenup.
Right. That was a big one.
I mean, we're talking rookie contract projections. What,
Yeah.
$35 million? Maybe up to like $46 million? For someone walking into that kind of money, skipping a prenup is, well, it's pretty rare, almost unheard of.
It really is, especially in pro sports. So what's the thinking? Well, according to Jeff Barnes, he's a podcast host, reportedly close to Hunter Party. Travis's main focus is on trust and freedom in the relationship.
Trust and freedom. Okay. So less about legal protection, more about the relationship dynamic itself.
Seems that way. Barnes actually framed it interestingly. He said the real prenup for Travis is the ability to live without restriction, knowing that his partner won't limit him, but instead empower him.
Wow. Empower him. That's a different perspective. It implies he sees the relationship itself as a key asset. Maybe.
Exactly. To suggest Hunter feels Leanna provides a certain kind of stability.
Yeah.
Emotional consistency, something that actually helps him perform better, allows him to play his maximum football, as some reports put it.
So he's maybe prioritizing peace, stability,
Yeah.
love over the potential financial messiness down the line.
That appears to be the calculus, yes. It raises fascinating questions about what people truly value when they build a life together, especially when massive wealth enters the picture so suddenly.
So if you connect the dots, his strong defense of her against all the online attacks, and then this decision to skip the prenup, it all points back to this deep-seated belief he has in her. And in the idea that she provides this stability, this empowering presence that he feels he needs for his career, for his life.
Precisely. It's definitely not the standard playbook.
Yeah.
In a world where financial advisors and agents are usually screaming prenup,
Yeah.
especially for athletes. But Hunter's choices suggest he's operating from a different set of priorities, rooted really strongly in trust and his belief in the relationship itself.
Okay, so let's try and wrap this up. Pull these threads together. This deep dive into Travis and Leanna's marriage, it feels like it shows more than just a big celebrity wedding. It points to a really deep commitment, right?
Definitely commitment.
And resilience, too, facing down all that public stuff.
Yeah.
And this very deliberate focus on building a stable personal foundation, just as his professional life is taking off like a rocket.
Absolutely. Hunter's decisions, they feel very intentional. Marrying relatively young in his career path, the specific choice of wedding location for his dad, and then this pretty surprising decision about the prenup. It all seems to signal a young guy who knows what he wants for his personal life, prioritizing that foundation as he steps into this incredibly high-pressure NFL world.
So maybe here's something for you, the listener, to think about. When young public figures are under this kind of constant, intense microscope, how does that actually shape their most personal choices, their relationships? And what does it really take, to build something lasting when you're dealing with that level of pressure day in and day out. It's certainly not a simple equation.
Not at all. A very complex landscape they're navigating.
Thank you for watching Pressure News Network. And don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share this video.